First, it's been an amazing trip coming over to South Africa, lovely people, and obviously you guys are very good at rugby as well. Lookout is an iOS and Android security company, and we've had the benefit here, partnered with Vodacom and Nexio today to meet and greet and present to customers here. And what's interesting is that customers are finding that they're really challenged when it comes to mobile, because ultimately organisations today are having to adopt corporately owned, personally enabled and bring your own device strategies, and that represents a big challenge for IT departments, because these devices that we use every day and we take home with us no longer sit behind a perimeter, which makes it again very risky for organisations who are then allowing those devices to access corporate data. So we see what we called a mobile kill chain, which is to say, in the first instance, we're using these devices and connecting them to networks that are not owned or governed by the organisations that we work for. And of course that's a huge challenge, because previously behind the network perimeter we have full control of the traditional types of devices, but if we're attaching to 4G masts, to access points within coffee shops, airports, shopping centres, that's a huge challenge. And so Lookout is able to detect low reputation access points and also what we term rogue Wi-Fi access points, where malicious actors are trying to get in line with data that is in transit. So one of the protections we provide is man-in-the-middle attack protection with our Lookout for Work and our consumer product Lookout. The next area then is, once we've made a connection, we begin accessing applications that we've generally got from the app stores, but sometimes we find users will find other websites to install applications from. We call this and term this side loading, and Lookout today tracks in excess of 300 sideload sites, where we see that these apps that look and feel and appear to be almost identical to the ones from the iOS App Store and the Google Play Store, but they haven't been vetted in the same way. So we have no understanding of their behaviour, and what we see at Lookout is that behaviour is often very risky and will put certainly organisations against POPI compliance and cause issues for organisations regarding data sovereignty. So that's another thing that Lookout will detect, is side-loaded applications, and we will continue to track and provide research and coverage for those side-load sites that are out there today. What we also do is work very closely with Apple and Google and help them identify threats that we see within applications too that are hosted on the public App and Play Store. So then we install apps, and with that we're also clicking 80 to 100 times on the screen of a mobile device. That might be in popular communications applications like WhatsApp or Instagram or Messenger applications. What we also see is with that there's a huge attack vector, where at Lookout year on year through our consumer product we've seen an 85% increase in the rate at which users are falling from phishing links online. So as we come up to the Christmas period and we're buying presents for our loved ones and working at the same time, you know, the chances of us clicking on a bad link is really high. So one of the protections that Lookout provides is our phishing and content protection, what we call on the client safe browsing. And so if you click on a malicious link, you can be pretty much guaranteed that Lookout is going to have already identified that as a malicious site, and on the device will block that user from accessing that site, or give administrators the option to warn and allow the user before they go to that site. And then I suppose finally, and probably the biggest issue, is some of the compromises of the devices that we see today. So generally speaking, mobile device management tool sets do a really good job of identifying jailbroken or rooted devices. That is the concept of getting administrative access to an iOS or Android device. And so Lookout is at the forefront of identifying those threats, elevations of privilege to the system, what's otherwise known as jailbreaking or rooting. And where that event happens, Lookout will detect that and alert the user, or we can get the MDM to do something in the event that that happens. So across these 4 key attack vectors, what we're saying is if the device, the apps, the network, and the things that we're clicking on are safe, then there should be no problem, and we should be allowing our users to access corporate content as required.